Morning. Welcome back to the channel. So we had a little bit of rain last night. We didn't get a whole lot. We were hoping to broadcast that wheat on like I was talking about yesterday, using this Turbo Max to incorporate it in. Dad has got the floater loaded up now, I think. And then maybe eventually we're gonna try some beans here this afternoon. We got about 2/10 of rain. This is Dad's combine. It is back together. So we will be a 2 combine band again. Looks like brother BJ is getting his lesson on driving the fertilizer spreader. I don't think he's ever used that one yet. Now this will be our first experience doing this. We've never spread wheat with the spreader with the intentions of harvesting it, so hopefully this goes well. Our wheat agronomist, he has walked us through our rate and helped us, with some settings, but we'll have to see this summer when we harvest it. This is our Umberfirst tender to load this thing. One, because it has a scale on it, so we'll know make sure we have the right rate. We're trying to put on a double spreading of 50 pounds an acre. So with that, we'll be able to kind of determine if our rate's pretty close. Now one thing we've been wanting to get is a fertilizer tender. I don't think I'd want to use this tender for fertilizer. Fertilizer is very corrosive, it probably rusts that thing out. Usually those are stainless steel. But it's working great for wheat. Here's a little fun fact Friday for you. It's actually Friday too. This is a Terragator spreader. This is owned by AGCO. AGCO owns this brand. It's a John Deere engine. There for a while they used John Deere engines in them. If you're not in the ag industry, lots of companies will partner or contract or use other people's parts, so that's not uncommon. Now it is weird when we're working on our Terragator and we have to go to the John Deere store to get parts, but it happens. While they're still messing with that spreader, still getting the GPS working and everything, I need to hook up to the Thunder Chicken, need some fuel for the combine. Looks like they might have already tightened this up. Oh, nope, there's a nut missing. Wonder what that means. Hopefully we ain't got it bearing out here. So this was our problem. This washer is just wore out. And it's mashed.
So, you got something to eat, you say?
Yeah, there's lunch meat in the truck. Yeah, the day escalated a little bit. Happy birthday, sweetheart. You drove off the road. Trying to get a new car, you could have done it a little bit different. As BJ said, back to our regularly scheduled programming now. BJ and I are repairing this when Mrs. Brown called and said that she'd been in a wreck. Scared the absolute crap out of me. So we hauled butt out of here, and then we just found out she just drove the ditch. So no harm, no foul, everyone was okay except for one frog. He didn't make it. But that was the same part of our road that the tractor wrecked on back in June. So if you missed that, there was a neighbor had a tractor wreck right there. It's a pretty dangerous part of the road, really. Which is why we use an escort when we take a large piece of machinery down this road. Kayla had met a semi pulling a trailer, and she got over and the ditch had gave way. Apparently we had enough rain that ditch was a little soft. Kayla, if you want a new car for your birthday, just tell me. Don't total ours.
Oh, I'm just glad she's okay. She can continue bringing food to the field.
Yes. The meal wagon is not hurt. Hey, now don't break it. Just finger tight.
Are you absolutely?
I'm absolutely joking, yes. You see, there was about to be a working word there. While he's under there, I'm doing the hard job here. Standing on that wrench that just gave way. Alrighty. After a few working words, a 4-foot cheater pipe, a couple busted fingers, and a few worn out washers, we're good to go. BJ, are you ready to plant some wheat?
No, I'm looking for the manual.
The manual? There's a manual in a box right over there.
What?
So Dad just got done spreading. BJ is turboing it. I'm gonna drive over and see how they're doing and see what our depth is looking like and everything. And then I guess Dad and I, we're gonna run some beans. That's the plan, subject to change.
Afternoon, YouTube. How's it going? Anyone care to guess what I'm doing today? 1, 2, 3. Okay, if your money was on grain carting, you're wrong. If your money was on sowing wheat, you're right. But wait a minute. That's not a wheat drill. That's not an air seeder.
So we got pretty good coverage. What the plan of attack here is, according to our weed agronomist, Midwest Weed Consultants, by the way, that's who our weed agronomist is. He wants us to run it as deep as we can get that Turbo Max in the ground, full percent angle, 6%, and then cross it a different way, basically X in the field. On the second pass, he wants us to shallow it up to 4 inches and still as aggressive an angle as we can. He says that will agitate that seed in there. Some of it will be a little too deep, but for the most part, he said 90% of it will be right where we want it. I want you guys to look at Dad's fix on them rolling baskets. See that chain right there? It's good stuff. See what kind of job we're doing, see if we're bouncing too much. One thing you have to watch with the Turbo Max is those baskets will get to bouncing, and that will create little bumps in your field, and you have like a washboard. We've got a couple fields where, let's just say the former operator, yours truly, wasn't as cognizant of that, and now we have some rough fields because of it. If you run the right speed, it does a really good job. Too fast, and that's what you have happen. Big Mama's shuttling us around, taking us after pickups and combines. Am I risking life and limb here?
As long as we don't encounter a dump truck, we'll be good.
So we're moving Dad's combine. His was still at the shop from getting the repairs. Say it's ready to go. Taking it over to the grain bins. We're taking it over to the grain bins. We're also going to do a little bit of work on my draper head. Like I mentioned in the last video, it's not really flexing the way I'd like it to. So we're going to see if we can adjust some of that. And then maybe tonight we'll run some beans. Maybe we won't. We're not 100% sure yet. Neighbor tried it when they were still a little wet, so we'll see. It's 3:30 in the afternoon, so maybe by 5 o'clock, you know, they're probably going to be as dry as they're going to be. So right behind us is where Kayla went into the ditch a little bit ago. Notice I'm in the middle of the road because that turn is extremely narrow. And if there wasn't enough room for a car and a semi to pass, there's definitely not enough room for a car and a combine to pass. But I guarantee you, if someone came, they may try to pass right there. Seen it happen before. And speaking from as the guy in the seat, the look on their face when they see, oh, that's why that car was there, when they're, you know, panicking, trying to figure out how to get out of your way, it's priceless. Now I've got to get to the top of that hill. I'm running kind of fast to get ahead of Dad, because there's no sense in being right in front of him. We want to be a ways in front of him, because if they can see me and the combine at the same time, it's kind of pointless. So see, get up here at the top of this hill, that way he doesn't meet them at the crest of that hill. Alright, so time to start adjusting on this head. At the Thunder Creek, we're going to fuel up the combine before we get started too. Probably won't fill it, probably just get us enough to get back to the barns, but enough to run the day tomorrow. Gotta leave some in the Thunder Chicken for that combine and that tractor.
All right, gang, so pass number 1 is in the books. Basically, our agronomist wanted us to run our Turbo Max at maximum degree of angle and the deepest we could go to kind of churn things up and get the wheat seed in the ground. I'm just kind of walking along, and I think it's done that. I don't see any seeds laying on top. And then he wants us to do a secondary pass, not as deep and not as bad as harsh an angle. So what I'm going to do is adjust the depth on the Turbo Max. Alright, so for pass 2 I had to play with some speed here. Like I said, we're trying to streamline this a little more. Started out with my cruise set to 10 mile an hour, and the rooster tail of dirt flinging up behind me was probably not ideal. I'm afraid anything that I accomplished with the first pass as far as covering up seed was being undone. So now I have slowed my cruise down to 8 miles an hour. Rock that side over here.
Unfortunately, we're idiots and don't know how to adjust this thing, so we're watching a YouTube video. Seems right. Now, since we don't really know what we're doing adjusting that head, and we have some more research to do, we are going to basically run the head in the lock position. That is actually better than it's been running, and try to get something done today. I'd say we only have a couple hours of running light. Feels like it's going to be tough early tonight. I mean, you can just kind of feel the moisture in there, so probably not going to be the greatest evening for me. Tarp this monster and go hop in the combine. Doing a couple last minute adjustments. Dad's on the phone with one of our techs from Ohio Ag. Took a couple rounds out of the center section. Basically that's what puts tension on the center. Trying to loosen this head up a little bit so it'll flex more. I think we got it better. We're gonna run it tonight. That's the target. We got 60 acres right there. Like I said, I'd say it's gonna get tough early. It's just me and Dad till BJ gets here. We'll see what we can get done. Just getting started here. If you notice in all the videos, you guys don't get a whole lot of footage on the first round. That's because I have to steer that first round. Second round, we'll have auto steer. With our Ag Leader system, we use what's called Smart Path. Basically, that is constantly recording a line. So I could pick the head up now, turn around, and I'll have a line. Basically, it's just recording the exact path I'm driving. And then it'll record the next path that we drive, steering with the auto steer or not. Really like the Smart Path feature. It's probably my favorite guidance systems version of headlands. Every guidance system that I've used has a different version. That's by far my favorite as far as simplicity. These could be our best beans that we've ran. As long as we don't go over there by the wood line, this field might make 80 bushel. But unfortunately, if we want to harvest the whole field, it's not going to make 80. Really regretting not cleaning them windows now. Yep, that's on tomorrow's list. Deer damage. More deer damage. And more deer damage. Got to fire our deer hunters. I'm kidding, that's me. And more deer damage. Oh look, there's some more up there too. I think our deer herd's in pretty healthy population. Looks like we need to do some whacking and some stacking. I bet Dad's right around this corner. You know how I know? Boom! Display cast. Usually what we will do is we will both take off in opposite directions, meet in the middle, and then turn around. Basically that way we can each use our Smart Path line. So that's what we're doing. We're going to turn around now and we'll meet back here in the middle eventually. And that's when we'll form an AB line and get going back and forth. It's a lot easier to open up a field when you have a grain cart driver. BJ, where are you at? Hurry up! Now, like I've said before, I always try to check my yield monitor, do a check on it at the beginning of the day. I didn't this time. This bin only holds about 300 bushel of beans, and we have 355 on supposedly. So I should have checked, because we're high. We might have had a little boo-boo. This is the second time we've done this. When you're going to a field, it's important that everyone clicks on the same event. Dad and I both started an event at the same time on this field, so we're not seeing each other's coverage map. So now I need to go out of this field and then select his event. That way I can see his coverage map and all that good stuff. So there's the event that he's running right now. If you look at the timestamps, he started his 3 minutes after I started mine. So yeah, there's his event. Click into it, put our variety in. This is Sea Consultants 8399X, and now we have each other's yield data. We got to get in the habit of coordinating that a little bit better. We probably should get on the radio and say, hey, I'm starting the event, or hey Dad, go ahead and start the event and I'll click onto yours. Like I said, that's the second time we've done that. Still waiting on BJ to get back. Cart's almost loaded, but I don't want to go dump it. So I'm going to try to cram as much as these soybeans on there as I can. Well, it's loaded. Take her easy, brother. Hey, there goes our grain cart. Now we can make some dust fly, which is convenient because I'm full. Waiting on the cart. He's dumping right now, but he's clear across the road dumping, so we'll get out and see what kind of job we're doing, check my tire pressure, and then hopefully he'll be back pretty soon. Well, since the wind is moving the dust the other direction, I'm gonna walk over here and walk around beside Dad's combine, see how he's doing, make sure he's spreading full width and everything. And maybe we can do that without even getting dusty. Man, he is really moving. Looks like he's spreading pretty good though, full width. Don't see much bouncing over the top of the head. Not doing bad. Brother's getting a line of combines, but here he comes. Our savior. Rolling in at high speeds he is. Here he comes to wreck the day. Oh, save the day. Looks like Dad's giving the light game up early tonight.
Fair.
One more pass, then this 60 will be done. So that was a quick 60 acres. Turns out it's way faster with 2 combines. All right, that's a wrap. There's the boss man. Looks like he's parking right behind us. Since we're here at the bins and an open bean field, we're not going to worry about unhooking the heads. We don't have a building to park these things in other than the drive-through, which we got to use now. And it's dinner time. If you've been watching, you know it's Big Mama's birthday, and her birthday party's going on right back there in them woods. So we're gonna go eat some, I think, soup or something. I don't know. Dad's being an overachiever and blowing his combine off. Hey guys, thanks for watching. Like I say, it's party time, so I'm getting out of here. But thanks for watching. Don't forget to thumbs up the video, subscribe to the channel, follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at Brian's Farming Videos, and we'll see you in the next one. Don't worry, the next time we'll talk about that.